What is up, guys? It's Mitch here. This video is going to be really quick and snappy for this week. Basically, I wanted to give you guys a bit of a channel update, talk about the things that have been happening and are going to be happening on this channel. I want to talk as well briefly about my switch from Premiere to Davinci Resolve, and then also at the end, I might do a little bit of a Q&A for you guys as well. So I'm working on a video right now that's taken us multiple weeks to get through. It's a bit more ambitious than most of the other videos that I've done so far on this channel. Hopefully get you guys involved more in this video. It's really exciting. I can't wait to show you guys. So make sure you jump on over to the Instagram. Stay tuned. We're going to be posting some more updates there very, very soon. So for that reason, this week's video is going to be pretty short, but I am talking about a bit of a revelation, bit of a shift that's happened in my video editing workflow that I wanted to let you guys know about. And of course, if you've already seen the title to this video, it is the fact that I've switched from Adobe Premiere Pro to Davinci Resolve. I have been keeping an eye on Davinci Resolve over the last couple of years, and since they came out with version 15, they're on version 16 now, but I think version 15 was really the game changer. I've been looking at it like, damn, like I really need to switch over. I just need to build up the courage and just put the time and effort in and switch over. So I'm gonna go through a couple of reasons why I switched. So the first one is stability. I swear, Premiere Pro seems to be getting worse and worse with every single version they put out. Every time I see that notification that, you know, Premiere Pro has a new version out, I'm like really quick to, you know, hurry up and download it to just see if it's any better than the last version. And most of the time it's honestly worse. And it's starting to get slightly concerning because anybody who uses Premiere Pro, they know that it crashes all the time for random reasons, sometimes for no reason at all. The second reason is that Premiere just won't load thumbnails for clips. I'm opening these bins and they've just got, you know, a lot of clips in them, but like they're literally just taking forever to load. And the worst thing is when you close the bin and then reopen it again, or close the project and reopen it, it has to load all those thumbnails again, and I'm just over it. So in Resolve, when you load in, it doesn't matter how many clips you load in into a bin, it loads almost instantly. It loads all of those thumbnails. And when I saw that, I was just like, oh, this is such a relief. Third reason is that Premiere is slow compared to Resolve. Resolve is so quick, and it's due to the fact that the Blackmagic engineers have done a really good job in combining CPU and GPU acceleration within Davinci Resolve. It actually takes advantage of the CPU and the GPU, whereas I think Adobe Premiere only takes advantage of the CPU. I've been using Resolve for a few weeks now, it's almost been a month, I think, actually. And the other day I had some 4K raw footage in there, and it was, after, you know, putting a couple of effects layers on, starting to slow down a bit. So I sort of thought, well, you know, I know that it's already on like maybe quarter resolution or half resolution playback. Why don't I see if I can go any lower than that to see if I can get my, you know, clips to playback. And I went into the proxy selection where you select the playback resolution, and it was on full. And I was like, are you kidding me? I've been playing back full resolution this entire time, and in Premiere Pro you can't even do that. Like, you can't even play back quarter resolution. So I just dropped it to half resolution and everything was all sweet again, and I was like, man, this is like a dream come true to me, honestly. The fourth reason is Resolve is a much better program for color grading. Honestly, yeah, Adobe Premiere does a good job. It has good tools, but like Resolve just takes it to that next level. And of course, probably most of you guys already know, Resolve did start as like a color grading program. It was basically specifically designed for color grading. I know what you guys might be thinking. If you switch over to Resolve, then you miss out on that dynamic link between After Effects and Adobe Premiere. The great thing about the new version of Resolve is that they have their own little version of After Effects built into the same program, which is called Fusion. Now, I haven't learned how to use Fusion yet. I'm very basic in terms of my knowledge in After Effects, so it's not really a big deal for me, because if I wanted to get into motion graphics, I would have to learn After Effects anyway, so me learning Fusion is not so much a big deal. And it also has Fairlight, which is a audio kind of engineering, audio mastering, mixing software built into it as like another tab, which is really good. And I find myself now, coming from Premiere, getting really used to using those tools because they're all really similar to the ones that are built into Premiere. Reason number 5 is that all of the tools that I had in Premiere Pro are in some way implemented in Resolve, and you can find them in Resolve. It does take a little bit more time to kind of find your way around the program, but I really found myself with no reason not to switch to Resolve, given that in the latest version, they've really covered all the bases now. But there's always going to be a few caveats. Of course, changing workflows completely, you're always going to expect that things aren't going to be the smoothest transition. So I want to go through a couple of those. If you're planning on making the switch, these are really good to keep in mind. The first one is that Resolve's warp stabilizer works a little bit differently to Premiere's warp stabilizer. And in my opinion, I think it still has a lot of room for improvement. The words that they use to describe the different kinds of stabilization are a little bit confusing. I'm starting to find my way around it now, but for the most part, I'd say 90% of the time, I can stabilize most clips in Resolve, and I'm pretty happy with that. So as I said before, it did take me a few projects to get used to the different settings, and I also had to do things like setting up hotkeys, setting up shortcuts, all those kinds of things. But once that's all done, you're pretty much ready to go. The third one is screen real estate. This is one thing that Davinci I think can improve on a little bit. Premiere seems to be more compact. You can fit more things on the screen. It's more of a cleaner, I guess, user interface, because some things that are, that don't need to be very big on the screen in Resolve are just big for no reason. And I think that Premiere has a very compact sort of look to it. You can fit more panels in. With Davinci Resolve, you're kind of fighting for that screen real estate. So I think there is room for improvement there as well. I'm the kind of editor who likes to color grade as I go. So as I'm building the edit, I'll just color grade each clip. Most of the time I'm copying settings over onto each clip as I go. In Resolve, you actually have to go to the next tab, which is the color tab, in order to apply a grade. So switching from the editing tab to the color tab, editing tab, color tab, the whole time, it kind of gets a bit tedious and a little bit annoying. I wish there was a way, and there might be a way, I'm not sure of this, of you being able to copy and paste a color grade over to the next clip without actually leaving the edit tab. That would be amazing. Other than that, I'm really happy with the switch now, and I'm so glad that I actually put the time into switching from Adobe Premiere, because I was absolutely losing my shit every single day trying to figure out, how do I make Premiere, perform like it used to perform, like back in the day. Like, it's honestly just gotten so much worse. Now that I made the switch, I'm so happy, and I just wanted to let you guys know, like, keep you up to date. That's what's going on. That's what I've been doing. All right, so moving on to the Q&A now, and on topic, Lou.Hole26 asks, Premiere or Davinci Resolve for a enthusiastic beginner? I definitely gonna have to say, of course you guys already expect this, definitely recommend Davinci Resolve over Premiere. You're gonna get a lot less headaches, and once you learn this software, it's really a breeze to use. Eli Le Boy, sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, a must-have feature on a camera for you. I'm gonna have to say a good color profile, something that looks good and natural when shooting skin tones, and also, probably a nice robust codec, something with a nice high megabit option. Bastion.Collars asks, can you explain your backup method if you have any? I have a drive that I bring with me that's like a portable drive that I'll do all of my work from. So if I'm going to take my laptop maybe out onto the balcony or take it to a coffee shop, or even just here at the desk, I'm going to be using that portable hard drive. But then I've got 2 extra backups. So 2 external drives, and they're in RAID 1, so they're an exact copy of each other. Basically, I'll just back up my footage to those drives, and then once that's done, I will back up to the working drive, which is my portable one, and that'll basically run overnight. So when I wake up in the morning, usually it's all backed up and ready to start working on the project. So Elizabeth Lee asks, where do you draw inspiration from for your art? Honestly, there's so many different sources. I love looking on Instagram. Instagram is a great place to get inspiration. My tip for getting inspiration is don't just look at filmmakers or photographers. Look at, digital artists, illustrators, things like that. Look at different mediums. Vimeo is a great place to get inspiration for films. Me personally, I take my inspiration from a bunch of different mediums. I have to say, in the photography world, some of my biggest inspirations are Diane Viladsen. She takes amazing portraits and fashion. Her work is incredible. Also Samuel Elkins, I love his work too. And also the Instagram account Dan Tom. His work is absolutely incredible as well. Wandering Lauren asks, do you prefer shooting portraits or landscapes? Honestly, I like both. They're both such a challenge to me. I'm really new to shooting this style of photography, and yeah, I just have so much fun doing both. And I obviously, if you guys have seen my Instagram, it's kind of a mixture of both, and I kind of like that. So Jake R. Pritchard asks, what is your #1 goal as a photographer? So I'm gonna have to say that my #1 goal as a photographer is probably just to make work that I'm proud of. And I'd say closely followed behind that is helping other people to express themselves creatively through photography and filmmaking, and I guess that's what this channel is all about. 97 Bushbreaker asks, how did you switch from hobby to getting paid? That is a massive question. I think that deserves a video all on its own. But I'd say probably my #1 tips are, if you're new to it, do plenty of work for free and build up your network. And also build up your skills. And I'd say the second tip is find out as quickly as possible what kind of niche you're trying to go into. So do a whole bunch of different work, try to figure out what you like, what makes you enthusiastic, what makes you excited, and go deep on that one thing, because being a specialist, I think, is going to help you set yourself apart from the rest of the market. Alright, so that's it for the Q&A, guys, and that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Just a quick touch from me this week. I really appreciate you guys supporting me here on YouTube. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more. That's a big hooroo from me, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.